one that was asked to somebody at Stellar Peers, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting question. How would I answer that? And I wanted to discuss this with you guys, have that opportunity. And so it's sort of like a strategy and product design question. So Jay here probably also has a very good background to give some input on this. And so let's start. So the question is, if you are the PM, you're the PM of Facebook. Question is it a good idea for Facebook to get into the travel industry, right? And so now the thing for you is to think about, how are you going to actually think about it? What kind of framework you're going to use? And so I have a I have sort of like a framework that I devise, and once I want to put it there, and then would like for you guys or somebody else to offer a feedback or a different framework, and maybe start answering it.
Great.
So let's start with that. So the question is, should Facebook get into?
So the clarifying question would be, when you say get into travel business, does it mean be the marketplace for selling travel through third-party suppliers?
That's part of that's a very good thought, right? So the first thing is like, okay, this is a very, very big question, right? So the first thing, part of your framework should be to, clarify.
Sure.
Clarify assumptions you may have and narrow the scope, right? Now, the second for me is, now, once you narrow the scope, is let's describe the industry. What is it? What is part of this travel industry? Just to narrow the scope really well, right? The other one is market fit with Facebook. So, is this a good fit with Facebook products and its vision of Facebook? So that would be a question for me. Because if there's no fit, then it doesn't make sense, right? The other one would be that I have is, okay, let's say that these checks, now let's start making an analysis. Okay, because here is the question that I want to answer after my analysis is, should we play in it? Should Facebook play? Where to play? And in which part of this industry? And then the strategy, how to play. So, and in order to, answer these questions for me, I should go into something that is similar to the 5 forces, which is, well, I would like to start with understanding the market, right? So is this industry, what is the size? What's the opportunity here?
Milena, is it okay to ask a question?
Sure.
So question is, how do you conclude that this is of a strategy question and not so much of a design question?
Because they're asking you for a decision, right? So they're saying, is this a decision to get into, right?
I see. Okay.
So your answer should be yes or no, but you have to base it on something.
Sure.
Right? That's
okay.
like a typical strategy question, right?
Okay.
So first of all, what's the opportunity? The size of the market, growth. The other one for me is here. The other one is like, what are the trends? Okay, so it's important, at least from my perspective, to know what are the technology trends that could be disruptive to this market, right? And whether Facebook actually has a play in it, right? So technology, we're looking for disruptions. or whether Facebook has something in that technology. The other one, it would be, for me, would be sort of like the social element in terms of like, society, where's society going? So societal issues or trends, is the way people are traveling different than before? Is it changing? Are the expectations changing? The other thing that I was thinking about is, let's see, yes, most important one. Once we go through this, does Facebook have the core capabilities to be in this business? Okay, and core capabilities can include, technology, could include knowledge of the market, it could be, does he know what the customer wants? Well, that's the market, I suppose. The other one would be, maybe does he have the partnerships? Could be others. So core capabilities are really key for me. And then the other thing I was thinking about is, finally, competition, of course. So this is key. Where is the competition in this? How hard it is to compete with them, right? And then the other part would be, who are the users? Are these people that are part of Facebook? Which probably they are, but I would ask that. And then after analyzing this, we can come up with a conclusion and say, okay, yes, we should play. If it's yes, then okay, where should we play? Which is, once we look at this industry, there are different parts of this industry. So where should we be playing? Should we be playing in like, giving recommendations, booking, the actual experience of the service and stuff like that? And finally, how are we going to play? This is really the strategy. How do you intend to win? How to win so that you can, compete and be like 10x better than somebody in this industry, right? Because you want to be a winner. You don't want to be just trying to be second. So that's the way I would do it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Or feedback on this.
So, Malena, in the analysis part of it, what particular framework are you going by here? I mean, I see it's not one specific one. So maybe if you can share how you got to these specific items and from
this is a combination of things that I've read in my experience. So this is typical for 5 forces, right? Five C's, excuse me, not 5 forces.
Oh, sure.
Right? I'm not calling it that. This is from reading, my own reading, okay?
Okay.
The stuff that to me makes sense, right? Once you do an analysis, you have to make a decision, right? And so, and it's important to know where in the chain of this industry you're going to play, and then what is the strategy, right? What is the strategy for Facebook?
Right.
So how do you plan to actually be better than you are? What is the core capability, or what is the key differentiator that Facebook has in order to be better, right?
Right.
And that would be for any company. So that's sort of like at the end, how are you going to do it, right? These 3 here to me are also part of the 5 C's in a way, right? I mean, this is typical normal question, right? You need to clarify your.
Right.
But also, this is part of the 5 Cs. In a way,
Mm-hmm.
you need to know. This is sort of like the climate, right? The climate, what they call in the 5 Cs.
Mm.
This is all part of the climate. So in the 5 Cs, what do you have? You have company,
Company, customer, competition, climate,
customer, competition. You have collaborators and customer, right?
climate.
And planet. Excuse me. So this is all 5 Cs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And collaborators. I'm putting here collaborators as part of
Right.
our capabilities. Uh,
Right.
Make sense?
So, yep, does totally. Thanks. So coming to your first, clarify assumptions and narrow the scope. Sorry. I there's multiple things that can be done here. There's definitely the actual travel or transit booking, which is plane, train, and anything conveyance like buses, or it could be hotels, or it could be a combination. It could be car rentals. So there's a wide variety here.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking that in terms of fit or trying to capture a market, I mean, Facebook won't do very well if it's trying to replicate what kayak.com or Google Flights has, or Priceline or Expedia have. So it may not make sense to directly go into selling all of those plain vanilla products like car rental or plane ticket and so on. I mean, it could, but it does not seem to be a first obvious choice for someone like Facebook.
we organize first the chain, okay, and then we go into more detail.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that you mentioned here because they call it bookings, right?
Okay.
There's bookings, and under bookings you can have airfare,
Air, hotel,
car rental,
rentals,
hotels, and anything else. Okay.
trains. Yeah, all of yeah.
May I give a quick feedback? I think what we could do is, Maliana, you have a great feedback, framework. Why don't
Mhm.
we go through the framework? And because I think we're starting to answer the question already, why
Yeah.
don't we go and say, hey, just go through your framework and see if we get to the answer through that.
Yeah. Sure. Sure. Let's. I think that this is part of it. Maybe we just jumped the gun, right? But let's start with clarifying, questions. So this is a big question. If you are in the interview and you're confronted with this, right? My first thing would be to say, and you should be leading the interview, right? So you shouldn't be trying to guess what the person means. In fact, a lot of the interviewers don't know the answer at all. So I think that I would say, okay, you know what? The the um, the travel industry can mean several functions.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
can go from obviously the selling of the airfare tickets, the bookings. It can also mean tourism, right?
mm.
And it can also
Differences.
mean recommendations like TripAdvisor, right? Like an aggregate, recommendations, user-generated
Mm,
content, more information, and stuff like that. So let me list a variety of things that it can mean, and then I would like to, think about which areas make more sense
mm.
for Facebook. So we can start here and listing. Okay. So obvious thing that occurred to me are bookings. The other thing, it could be
Reviews.
online travel agencies, right?
Okay.
Here we have like things like Priceline, Orbit,
Right.
right?
Right.
We
Then reviews.
have travel sites, which are like TripAdvisor. We can have independent, like tourism.
Like day trips, kind of like Viator.com.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, those are like day trips and 2 3 day trips experiences. They are like on Viator.com, Viator.com.
Yes, like Viator.
Yeah.
others. Okay. Then there's also the hosting business. What do you call this? The
Home share or home exchange.
I don't know. I don't remember the right word, but I think it's a hosting of, the hosting business, and that's Airbnb.
Mhm.
What else? What else do you think of travel?
Airbnb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right here, the hosting.
I mean, something that we don't think of travel is finding travel buddies and finding like couch surfing, if you know of that website, couch surfing. So sharing.
That is part of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's called hospitality. It's called the right word. That's
Yeah, there are a lot of travel services also, like currency exchange and things like visa services. I mean, that's also part of travel, like travel services.
True. True. Currencies and visas.
okay. Anything else?
I wonder if there is anything that is specific to work travel because work travel is such a big market.
Work travel.
I don't know any site. I don't do any work travel, but most likely the companies and the travel desks handle their work travel, I guess.
Yeah, so
Would
these are generally companies like Voyager or Concur. They are part of Expedia and Priceline Group, which do work travel.
yeah. Should that be under the industry, or that's actually a use case?
Uh,
I think it should be under the industry.
Industry. Yeah.
Your work travel. Okay. Sounds good. I think we have sufficient stuff, right? And then, if I go there, now I start thinking, okay, so these are the things that I can think are part of the travel industry, and the next thing I want to do is to see if which ones of this have a better fit with Facebook, right?
Yeah,
And
may I also say, like, the actual travel infrastructure by itself could also be interesting. For example, like they could become an airline. They could buy an airline. So then they're not just booking tickets.
so let's just put all the stuff here, right? Now, from my perspective, I say, okay, what's Facebook vision, right? Their vision is to, basically enable people to connect, you know, with friends and family, to share, to share experiences, and also for business actually to connect, with people, their customers. Right. Do you guys agree? That's Facebook mission.
Yes.
Yes.
And so when I look at this and I think, okay, if I look at the industry and all these different sort of like offers for in this industry, which ones, sort of fit with this kind of vision? And I think definitely people like to travel, to go to new places, meet new people, or go with their family and share that experience with others, right? So definitely I think that the travel industry fits with this vision, right? Um, which ones of these actually help connect people better, or that Facebook can actually help them, with having a better experience in order to connect them better. Um, I personally think that making that possible, it's probably the book, just functionally is the booking system that they can help. In the online travel, they can sort of like help make more personalized recommendations, right? Um, this also fits in there, like the travel sites. In tourism also, I think that because, it's about experiencing something new for people and that it's memorable, also fits in that with that vision of Facebook. Um, in terms of the hospitality business, that also is about connecting people. Right? Currency exchange, not so much. So for me, that would be a no. Work travel, that's a good question, right? I would actually think that that's not part. I don't think it fits very well with Facebook vision,
Agreed.
unless it's part of Facebook at work, right? So it's like a tenuous line here. But if I were to go by this vision, I would say no. And also, it's a market, or it's an industry, it's a market where there has to be such integration with the enterprise that sort of out of the way from what Facebook is truly doing. And in terms of airline infrastructure, yes, I would stay away from it too, because it doesn't have to do much with,
Okay. I will also throw one thing. So, for example, like people may not be willing to travel, like physically travel, but Facebook is building its VR capabilities. So maybe there's a possibility for a virtual travel. So,
I'm sorry,
Facebook.
repeat that again, Himanshu.
Yeah, so I'm saying Facebook could build something like a virtual travel. So maybe I can't go to Europe right away, but I want to see all the sites in Europe. So Facebook, with its VR capabilities, could help me virtually travel to these places, and maybe then later on I actually go and travel it. So
Yeah,
the
and keep that in mind. But I think that will be part of a solution to a need,
got it.
right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
first, we need to find out whether it's a need first,
Yep.
and that would be part of the product design. But keep that in mind. So, any thoughts on this? Do you guys agree, disagree?
Good so far.
Okay.
I think so. My quick feedback would be like we are probably limiting ourselves right now to the existing solutions in the travel industry. I think one other way is we could use these to think about how travel is done today, and then we could say, you know what, we understand, but there are many unmet needs in the travel industry, and Facebook is uniquely positioned because of its strengths to go and tackle those problems which haven't been tackled in the past. So I'm just saying, like this may limit us to just the solutions or the industries in the travel industry that are available today. I don't know. I'm looking for feedback. Like, what do you guys think?
So right now we're not looking at how to design a product, not yet. Okay.
Got it. Got it. Got
So
it.
we're just trying to see whether there's a fit in terms of what this industry is about with the mission of Facebook, right? And since these activities are about people and experiences, there seems to be a fit.
Got it. I understand now.
Okay. So the answer is like, okay, looking at the industry today, and this is part of the travel industry. Yes, there's a fit. Okay, check mark. Okay. Here and here. All right, and we sort of narrowed down which part of the industry Facebook would be good at. So now let's go through the analysis here.
Hey, Marina, and everyone, can I interrupt? Not
Yeah,
sure.
of course.
I was thinking, how about, I mean, this is good that, how about we identify also what kind of people use Facebook and what, like we identified what is the horizon in travel industry? What is the
Yes,
Facebook?
we're gonna do that.
Yeah, and okay.
Which you bring a very good point. First of all, that's the next thing we're gonna do, right? So a deeper analysis. Right now, we're just going through the check marks, okay? Is there a market fit? Yes. Okay, let's go deeper. All right, and as you said, we're gonna talk about the users survey right here. So let's talk about the market opportunity. I was reading today, and this is something that you actually have to, if you don't know at the moment, it's hard to like pull up from your hat, right? Like last time I was estimating that this was a 200 billion market, but in fact it is a $500 billion market. 500 plus, right? And what it involves is actually the online travel agencies, travel sites, tourism, but not hospitality. Just this thing, it's a 500. So with hospitality, this will be probably $1 trillion. So it's a pretty big market, right? And it's growing at almost 4% CAGR, which is not bad for this, because it's a huge market. So from the market size, you know, in the interview, hopefully you're in the ballpark. All right, and yeah, I would guess it's below 10% CAGR, right? Usually, industries that are well established, you know, don't grow that fast. Anyway, so okay, so it's a good market. How about trends? Okay, let's look at trends. Let me put that here.
Yeah, for the trends, I think I see Airbnb as a big trend. They have unlocked a lot of value uh, or assets that were earlier not used in the travel industry. So I think I see that as a big trend.
What do you mean?
So I mean, like Airbnb has unlocked like real estate or like housing or lodging that was not available to people earlier. So that's a big trend, and people are very open to go and stay at somebody's home or apartment and use that as a hotel or a temporary accommodation. So I think that's a big travel industry trend that's going on.
Um, what's the terminology for the Airbnb types of business?
I think sharing, you can call it sharing economy.
Sharing economy,
Yeah, we are sharing more assets.
sharing economy in hospitality.
I think the
Another,
other trend that I saw in the last 2 3 years is like the volume of people traveling has really increased. Like at least in Asia, I'm seeing like China, like people in China moving up in their socio-economic status,
Yeah,
and they are now wanting to travel.
yep, yep. And also,
right.
what I read is that I think that the Chinese before were into shopping only, going to places to shop. But now that they have more
Exactly.
money, they're really into tourism. Uh,
Yes, yes.
okay.
And I would say there's a larger trend towards experiences versus ownership. So what it means is millennials today, they don't want to own property or assets. They don't want to have a white picketed house. They
Yeah.
want experiences.
For millennials. Yeah.
The other thing is, of course, like you hear a lot of different airlines are buying the newer planes, and those newer planes are opening up new routes and much more capacity on some of the point-to-point travels.
So
So,
new way of new plane purchases.
right,
You know, one of the other trends that even Airbnb is trying to explore is the fact that rather than selling 5 day accommodation in say France, they are selling 5 day experience in France, where you get a chance to stay at a localized place who shows you local bars, pubs, go to Eiffel Tower. You know, like just
Local experience.
yeah,
Places.
yeah, like where you can make connection with a localite. Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, that is true.
The other thing I will say is like people relying a lot on reviews to and recommendations, like online recommendations, even
Yeah.
from strangers for travel. And also like things like Instagram videos or Instagram photographs or Facebook photographs. I mean, they are creating a lot of intent for travel.
Yeah. Recommendations, explosion of media photos online. Right. So I have also let's see what I have here. What I put in here. Mhm. Yeah. So I sort of like segmented this section into three things. Some of this of what you guys mentioned, I had. In terms of technology, obviously mobile is exploding. People are actually using mobile to buy tickets and all the stuff. Then in terms of emerging technology, that is being used, we have, of course, machine learning for recommendations. Right? We have VR to give like vivid experiences. We also have, and I put here blockchain. It occurred to me, that blockchain enables basically P2P transactions, right? So is there a possibility for a new market? It's like a P2P market for people to sell and buy, resell and buy tickets. So if people cannot take their can have to cancel or whatever, that could be a possibility. But that's going too far, I guess. There's just new ideas on that. All right, and I think that a lot of what you guys put in here, it has to do with societal changes. So we have society and we have technology, different trends. And the reason why we put trends here is because that tells us whether Facebook actually has technologies that they can leverage, to actually take advantage of these trends. Make sense?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So let's go to the next thing. And let me take a picture before I erase it. All right. And let's put some stuff in here. So we now we want to go and talk about core capabilities, competition, and users. So let's talk about core capabilities. And the way I wanted to do this is like partition it in sort of like a table that says what Facebook has and what Facebook does not have. Okay. So when we think about these trends and what people do with travel and stuff like that, what does Facebook have? Well, it has lots of strengths actually. Okay, let's start with the obvious, right? In technology, it has the social graph, right? So it can provide a lot of personalized insights, right? Or those recommendations. What else does it have?
I mean, just a huge amount of data on where people have been, where do they want to go.
Data, huge, a lot of data. It has cross-platform solutions, right? Cross-platform presence everywhere. Mobile to web, right? What else?
I would also say it has a global presence, and that's a pretty big plus. It's not just a US company, so it has or just a developed market company. So
What
I
do you?
mean, I think the angle I'm taking is for international or intercontinental travel. It has information all across. Like sometimes companies are very focused on, say, it's a
That's a
US company.
so global footprint, right? And so for travel, that's awesome, right? Because that means that you know about what people do in different countries, right?
I will absolutely add the VR component. I think
Yep.
that could be something.
VR, VR. What else?
Also, Facebook has a lot of reach to both contractors who provide services like for partnerships as well as consumers. So it has, because for travel, it is people are required and some contractors, people who offer travel services. So it has both globally that we can add in that global reach.
Well, I don't think they have those partnerships now, do they?
Because
Yeah,
business manager, like people, if you want to promote your business, you generally contact Facebook, right? That if you are like, I have seen so many such ads on Facebook. So like all these people use Facebook for advertisement. So there is a contact with Facebook, not necessarily for, like in this era, like not in this area of booking the travel, but these people of course go to Facebook. So there's always a relationship of trust,
So you're saying they have
existing relationship with contractors and both customers.
they have a business platform.
Yes.
yeah. I would also say like Facebook has a marketplace where you can buy and sell stuff right now. So that could easily be extended to say travel. So they do have a two-sided marketplace. It just
Okay,
depends. Like,
you're going to solution right now.
oh, I'm sorry.
What is the second point that you have written? I can't read it. I think I missed that.
This one,
No, the second dark. What's that?
data, lots of
Oh,
data,
data. Oh, sorry.
data plus plus.
Okay.
But the one thing that they don't have though, okay, the one thing that they don't have, well, they have also, they have capital, right? A lot of cash.
Yes.
What they don't have is if you look at these businesses for travel and stuff like that, you need to be connected to the airlines, right? And to all the agency systems, right? So which are basically,
Third-party integration.
yeah, no integration with what is called the global, what's the right name for this?
Online travel agents or something.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm thinking, say, when somebody posts like uses Facebook for advertisement, Facebook gives them exact metrics, how many users gave an impression and then clicks. So if people are clicking their ad and going on somebody's website, like airline's website or something, so there should be some, like, there would be something, right? And that integration can be made further. Of course, those APIs are not there, but there is some starting point, or I'm wrong here.
Yeah, but that is for advertising only, right? And so you sell that data to marketers.
Yeah, that is the most important. First you advertise, get the user, and then go from there. Anyways, people, Facebook, even if they, I mean, real integration would also be like that, right? Facebook just has to make people land to that real site like United Airlines, and then people would still use United system. Facebook is not going to take that. So Facebook does that they make you land on providers website, service providers website.
So we're talking about actually Facebook taking over.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So for that they need to sell tickets, right? They need to sell the effort to the entire experience.
Okay.
So you go to Facebook and you say, hey, where should I go for my vacation? Give me inspiration. Okay, now I know I want to buy the ticket. So we're thinking about providing the entire experience, right?
Including, okay.
So no integration with airline booking systems. I would say, no, I think that tickets and stuff, well, that would require some kind of, payment system. But I think that the crucial one is no integration with airline booking systems. They will have to do that, right? So
Yeah, they also don't have any like payment method or anything right now.
You can transfer money through Facebook Messenger.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But it's peer to peer, it's not like they're not like a bank, they can't like,
I was reading that these agencies and stuff, they use, all of them use a Pegasus system, which is a payment system, like a integration with payment system. Then, they don't have, if you look at Priceline and Orbitz, they spend what, 20 years plus knowing what those users want, right? And really optimizing everything, creating a lot of new things like notifications and things like that for the people that travel, right? So I think Facebook will have to catch up, right? No current knowledge.
Yeah, I would also say the acquisition cost of each hotel and like each business, like on the other side, will be pretty high as well for Facebook. I know they're very well connected to the users, but businesses, they have no experience.
Would it be no inventory?
No supply of no relationship with yet, right? No relationship with suppliers yet.
I think another point is the fact that Priceline and Expedia have huge fraud analytics department, which Facebook doesn't currently have, which are focused on travel frauds. So, and
Yeah.
that's a key area.
Like deep analytics on travel. What else? Another thing that, well, yeah, no, that's it. What else?
Just one more thing. So, this is a concern from a point of view that Facebook doesn't cannibalize their existing business. So, if they come upfront with, say, United Airlines will start promoting their advertisements on Facebook platform. So, it's kind of cannibalizing their own uh, users in a certain way.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Except that I think that if you look at it from the airline's point of view, right? They are working with agencies in order to actually get more people to book with them, right? So that already exists today, right?
Yeah, but like even those agencies, for example, even Priceline or Expedia, they actively publish advertisements on the Facebook platform, right? And if Facebook becomes a competitor,
Yeah, I was also thinking like that. Yeah. Also, they don't have any skill set like they do have a lot of technology, but this requires different kind of skill set from like ranging from lot of variations from hospitality industry and whatnot. And Facebook is not doesn't have that.
That's part of this. Acquiring knowledge of the traveler, right?
That's more like domain expertise, right?
Domain expertise, yeah.
And talent, yeah, domain expertise and talent.
Yep. And so what you were saying, Vishal, was it Vishal?
no, that's Jay.
Yeah, Vishal. So I think that's a very good point, and we should talk about it when we talk about the solution. But for now, we're talking about core competencies of the company, right?
Okay.
So that would be for a different conversation. All right, I think that we have a good number of things here in terms of the core. Let's look at let's think about this. Do you think these are hard to get? Or like no integration with airline booking systems? I think that should be not too hard for Facebook, which is a huge company. I'm sure the airlines would be very interested. In like, it's just another channel to sell tickets, right? Unless, of course, what Vishal said, now that I'm thinking, is they're going to be afraid. I personally don't think so. I think it's another channel for the airlines to sell tickets. Now, integration with payment system, that can be done. It's not a short term, but it's a long term. The domain expertise, that will take time, but that can be you can hire people, right? But that's a challenge. I'm not saying that it's not. That is a challenge, domain expertise. And then no relationship with suppliers. Again, that's a challenge. Will take some time. And deep analytics on traveler, yeah, all these require time. Time to learn, time to catch up. Okay. And probably, some investment to do this. So we have to keep this in mind, right? So, because when we measure the ROI, is it worth it? Great, but Facebook has great things when it comes to personalization, right? One of the things that I think right now agencies are lacking is that they don't have a way to personalize your experience, right? Like, I keep on, I go travel and I always use this agency, and they don't have any history that I went to this place with them or not, how my experience was, and they could suggest to me a lot of things, right? They don't do that. So I think that Facebook has a good upper hand, as well as the technologies for providing good experiences like VR, AR. Anyways, so let's move on to competition. Right. Okay. So here I'm going to put one which is obviously TripAdvisor. What is the strength? It's user-generated content, right? And they provide recommendations, information from other users, from other customers that travel or consumers that travel. This is sort of like a Yelp, right? I think that Facebook can beat them with time. Of course, they need to collect all that data, but Facebook can provide a better results than they. All the other guys, like the OTAs, the agencies, like Priceline. What is their strengths? I think the booking is super efficient, right? Like,
I mean, they have pricing strength. I mean, in the sense like they have such a big scale that the suppliers have to work with them on their prices.
pricing, and also they have good technology for people to compare, right? Like people can do it on their own very easily, right? 24/7, it's on. What else? They also give you. They are also into. You can actually do sort of like an semi end-to-end, right? Like hotels plus car. But I don't think this is. It may take time, especially with the efficiency in the technology, but it's not too hard to beat, I think. Well, then maybe I'm too optimistic. But Facebook might not even have to compete with them in the short term, because I think that what Facebook is very much is more into recommendations. The other competitors are, of course, the tourism agencies that are providing packages, right? We also have like the local experiences. There are startups doing this, right?
Melina, one other use case could be where there are a lot of local tour providers which are not on any online platform, but they can be the next wave of or set of SMBs for Facebook that can advertise on Facebook as travel providers.
You mean travel providers or local experiences?
Local experiences, more yeah, local, but yeah, that's right, local experiences.
I would put them here, as competitors.
Right.
So they have a lot of competitors, and so that's not very good. And I think it's going to be hard, right? Because people are also used to, going somewhere else. So what this means is that Facebook will have to provide something that is way, way more valuable, or like really 10 times better than these other solutions, right? To do this. What else? We have the hospitality, right? We have
Oh, one more thing the competition has is already a very exhaustive list of inventory for hotels, flights, and everything. That's something that Facebook needs to build from scratch. So it's already
totally. And that would be here. No relationship with suppliers, right? No list.
okay.
No list. That's an important one.
Okay.
Okay, I think that we're sort of like we have like a better picture now of the situation, right? And let's talk now about the customers. This is an interesting one. So I thought about it. It's like how's the best way to differentiate between these people that travel, right? And like define them in one way or the other. I thought about this, but you guys may have a different idea. People that travel a lot, or and actually in the industry, the revenue comes a lot more from people vacationing than actually for business travel, right? So I was thinking, okay, so who travels a lot, right? Tyrese with money, right? Also, people that are just young people. The retirees care about more comfort, I would say, and something memorable experiences. And young people, I don't know. I'm not at that age anymore, unfortunately. But I think that's probably more like do it yourself attitude. And they also want memorable experiences, of course.
Experience, explore.
Exploring. They're into exploring new places, right? Exploring. Right?
Travel buddies.
Travel. They're into like travel with travel buddies, right? Some maybe new, new to travel, right?
Yep.
All right. Then we have what are called, I don't know if you heard this terminology, combining business and pleasure. So leisure travelers, that stay longer after, they have a business travel. And what they're doing, they probably are more into like activities, right? Local. What to do, right?
And maybe they don't want to spend a lot of money.
Really?
Youngsters.
Yeah, like budget maybe.
Yeah.
Budget constraints. And you also have people that, especially people that have families in other countries, right?
Yeah.
Think people visiting families, people that travel, people that travel to visit family, and and what happens here? They travel at least very frequently, right? Frequently, repeatedly, that's for sure. Once a year at least. So there's an opportunity also there for actually make that visit even better, right? Like every time I go to see my parents, I'm like, why don't I take advantage and like go and see new places in my country? I haven't been, I go every year, but I haven't been for so many years. But I would be into that, But because I don't know what's available, I don't do it. But if I knew, I probably would. Anyways, what do you guys think about this segmentation?
So there are two categories or third? I don't know. I on my screen I see everybody's.
I have 4.
Oh, okay. I could.
So I have the retirees, I have the young people, I have the leisure, and I have the people that visit family.
Okay.
Is there another way to look at this? Another way to separate these users?
I was thinking people who travel a lot, people who travel very less.
Would that differentiation allow you to provide differentiated services to them?
I think yes, people who travel a lot want it at super convenient, like one site, everything done. They won't mind paying a lot, but it should be like one-stop shop and everything is done. Some super fast and reliable.
Okay. So
Like frequent travelers. Yeah.
okay. And not so frequent. All right. The reason why I was separating this way is because because Facebook has these technologies, that are in the data to actually focus more on the personalization part of it, that I think it's important to distinguish the personas in terms of what they personally want, in terms of an experience. Because that's I think that's the strength of Facebook. They actually really know you very well, and your friends and your family.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yes, I agree.
So that's what I was thinking about that. But okay, so 2 different ways to see the users. Okay, so now comes the decision, right? So you're in the interview, it's like, okay, Malena, you've done all this analysis. So what do you say? Woo! Okay. My feeling, and the question would be like, okay, where to play? Where to play, and then what's your strategy? How to play? After analyzing this, I would say yes. Okay, there's an opportunity here for Facebook to actually provide a much personalized recommendation of trips, but to a specific, to the people that actually are interested in experiences, which are the retirees and the young, in the leisure, and maybe these other ones too. But I think that there's an opportunity for that, right? Because these other competitors don't have that data, right? And there are opportunities for Facebook to use its technology in VR, like Himanshu mentioned, to actually, for example, improve the sale, right? So before, for example, you want to decide where to go, they can use that technology and say, hey, why don't you experience it first? And then you decide, right? So they have all these technologies and data and stuff to really, really personalize, that sort of marketing and make you decide better. And I think that's really strong. But it will take time. So where to play? I think that where Facebook should play, should be in the sort of like, leading the sale, leading sales, so to speak, right? in the recommendation part, as well as the actual experience, like local activities. Like the way I see the process is you first decide where you want to go, wherever. Then you book at a very high level, and then you experience. And I think that Facebook has a strong opportunity in these two in the short term. Why? Because they can really personalize your decision, personalize this to make your decision easier. And once you are there, once you are in your destination, they really have the tools for you to actually have some kind of consumer feedback, as well as sort of like customer service, that you can like talk to the people that are providing you the local experiences and stuff like that. As well as they can give you recommendations also. So they can make this experience really special, as well as this one. In terms of booking, that's a tougher one. I think that they don't have right now the system or the technology. So my recommendation would be twofold. In the short term, focus on the recommendations for what to book, and then recommendations on local experiences, right? And make revenue based on revenue based on fees, for leading sales, that's advertisement, but partner to integrate bookings, bookings technology from Priceline or those competitors. In the long term, once you have more data, then get rid of partners after you build your system, because the money is here in the bookings, a lot of the money, right? What are your thoughts?
Melena, more basic question. For an interview that is going to last 30 minutes, coming up with this much content is a hard one.
Totally, right? Yeah, I presume that in an interview like this, it would be a back and forth.
Okay.
Right? So it would be more of a discussion. And I think that what is more important is that you pick the interest of the interviewer, with some insights, right?
Okay.
And you just gauge where the interviewer wants to go with this conversation, right? It doesn't mean that, that you might end up doing all this.
Sure.
But at least at the beginning, you should explain your thought process, right? So like at the beginning, I would say, this is the way that I would think about answering this question, right? First, I'm going to start thinking about the industry, what's involved, right? Is it a fit for Facebook or not, based on Facebook mission and what they do? Once I ascertain that, then I'm going to look and analyze, 5 things. I'm going to analyze the trends. What are the core competencies of Facebook, the competition, how hard it is, as well as who are the users, right? Are those users part of the Facebook platform, or do we have to actually acquire them, right? And then once I have a good idea of, what is the situation there, then I can make a more informed decision as to where to play in terms of the value chain in the travel industry, and also, how to play. How am I going to play? What is going to be my strategy? And so at the end of this, you can say, well, for Facebook, the strategy is to play on its strengths, which is the data and technologies they have to really personalize their recommendations, right? Which no other competitor has. Right? So that would be the way to actually get people to come to Facebook and do those the reservations here. Does that make sense?
Right.
Any other feedback?
I didn't understand how was the revenue coming in the short term. What was that again? Can you explain?
Oh, yeah, I was thinking that Facebook has a path here to leading the sale, right? So they can just charge a fee if you're using Priceline as your partner to do your bookings, you're leading the sales to Priceline, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You can charge some commission for that.
Okay.
And the reason is because I think that in the short term, it's hard to get that system working for Facebook, right? Because they have to have a lot of things in place.
Right.
Relation with the booking system, with airlines, they have to gain domain knowledge, so they need to actually hire new people. That takes a lot of time. They don't have relationship with suppliers, etc. Right? So that takes time.
And in the long term, they would have gathered all the data by doing this, part of being this value chain. And
Yeah.
our argument is that they would be able to launch their own booking platform.
Yes, and the
All
reason
right.
why is because this is where the money goes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Any other feedback? How do you feel about this question?
Very interesting question. That was like really a lot of areas, better than product design, and it has everything actually.
Well, actually, we didn't get to the product design because there wasn't time. But after I made this decision, right, I can go and say, they will ask me, okay, Malena, great, you're getting into this business and whatever. So now tell me what kinds of products are you going to design for Facebook for this part and this part, okay? And now I have to think about the product design problem, right? That would be the next stage. But this is just the strategy question part.
Yeah, what I meant to say, we discussed the problems, the users, and some aspect of that.
Yes, that's number one, right? For the design.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys.